Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome to day 3 of our free kids art camp virtual styles. I am always overly excited to be here with you guys. Yay, Jaden and Quinn are in the house again, and Jessica and Jackson. That's so awesome. And today, guys, I'm like really excited, mostly because, we've been doing all these cool cartoon characters and all these things, but this one is very near and dear to my heart. So Project Monster is, he's my guy. I made him. He's like my cartoon love of my life. And I'm so excited to share him and his adventure. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure today, too. So saddle up, friends, because we're going on an adventure. Oh, that's nice. Hi, Noah and Elodie. That's so nice. I love that. That's a beautiful name, Elodie. Hi, Izzy. I'm so excited too. So, guys, it's been a long time since I've made this book. So it's been a while. It's probably been 13, like 8 years since I wrote and drew this book. And me and my husband wrote it together, and I drew all the pictures. And Isla and Noah, thanks for being here. And hey from the UK. Who said that? Who's there? Mary, hi. Hi from the UK. Hi from Canada. How are you? Hey, Jen. Hey, Steph. Hi, Nancy. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you guys are all here, all at the daycare. Yay. I don't know. I feel like when I get really excited, my voice gets really high. Hi. I am very excited though, so that just goes to show you how excited I am, how loud my voice gets. And hi, David and Audrey Ann. And like I was saying, guys, we've been on an epic adventure together, me and Project Monster. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him before we read the story today. And then we actually get to learn how to draw him, which is so sweet. Yay, I'm glad. Oh, guys. How do they even get in here? Okay. And Hudson is here. Wow, I like the way you spell your name, Hudson. I live next door to a Hudson, but he doesn't spell it like that. So you got a little bit of a different style there. And it's funny too, because my daughter's name is Story, and we spell her name a little bit differently too. So it's kind of fun to offset our names with different letters, isn't it? I like that. Hi, Rose, and you're ready to paint. Awesome. And hi, Charlie and Leo. And it's your first time too. Well, thank you for showing up today. I know that Project Monster and his friends aren't the most popular characters because they're just my characters. They're not on like television yet. But I hope one day they get to be. It'd be really awesome. And again, however many times I say awesome today, guys, if you can give me a count, we'll see. It's my go-to word. Awesome and sweet and excited are some of the words that I really like to say over and over again. Oh, so good. I'm so glad you guys are digging on the classes. Okay, well, I think it's officially 10:30, so why don't we get this started? I couldn't be happier. So guys, if you have never met me before, which it seems like some of you have, my name's Julie, and art is my favoriteest thing in the whole world. I'm an artist and a musician, and a few years ago, I learned that actually working with people is like the best thing in the whole world. So I've been hosting paint parties. And this week is just for you kids because spring break got postponed and now the kids in Ontario are not going back to school. So I really hope this just can show you a positive spin as to how art can really change the aspects of your life and, keep things positive. And guys, I just have to let you know, sometimes because these are free parties, people put scamming links in the chat. Just ignore them, or if you can, just report them. Okay, I appreciate that. And sweet Deb's here from Los Angeles. That's awesome. Okay, guys, so I am just going to tell you a little story before this story because I just want to let you know how Project Monster came about. Now, when I lived in Tofino, British Columbia, I think this is circa 2000. I forget, that's how long ago it was. I was sitting at my apartment and somebody had bought me one of those giant Toblerone boxes. So for Christmas, they have those like super Toblerone packs, and Toblerones are those like, they're pyramid shaped chocolates. Well, sometimes they send them in big boxes and they're like really big. And I looked at this box and I'm like, oh man, this looks like a monster. And I got really excited. So I like ran to my room and I, as a I think I was like 23 or 24 years old at the time. I was super excited about making this box. and I painted him up and I turned him into a monster. Now, I have my Project Monster box somewhere in the house. I couldn't find him today, but I do have one picture of him, and this is how long ago it was. We didn't even have cell phones then. We only had cameras. And this is a picture of Project Monster right there. That's my first my first version of Project Monster as a Toblerone box sitting in my window. I was so proud that I took a picture of him because he was the best thing I had ever made in my life. And then a few years later, I got inspired to actually draw him as a cartoon character, and he became my mascot for my business for a really long time. So I opened a gallery space in Tofino, British Columbia. It was called Project Monster Studios, and I kind of built out, I built a character for him. I built him a whole world of friends, and then finally, another 10 years later, I actually made him into a book that I'm really, really proud of, and I worked really hard on this book. I ended up I created a campaign to crowdfund to print the books, and I self-published. So now you can actually find just recently I got the books. They get printed and sold on Amazon. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste the links as to where you can find them. So hold on one sec. Let's see here. Okay, so here's where you can find him on Canadian Amazon. And then this is where you can find him on American Amazon. And guys, I have a coloring book that goes with this one, right? So as I was creating this book, I created all sorts of different creatures. And if you go on Amazon, you can see it there for sale it's like, I don't even make money on it. It's just $5. That's how much it costs to print it. And this is actually a link right here. If you go and put your email address in, I'll just send you the coloring book for free. Now you have to print it yourself. It's only a PDF version of it. But if you go to juliespaintparty.com/coloring book, then you can go and get all the creatures and you can color them in. And if you do that, you better send me pictures, okay? Now the last version of Project Monster, I just want to show you guys. I have this incredible stuffed animal version of Project Monster, and it's totally my dream one day to sell these in the masses. And I hope that he becomes a cartoon on Nickelodeon one day. So I'm just telling you all my hopes and dreams right now. And that's it. So I will repeat those links later. Let's get this started. I'm going to actually read you my book from my above stance here. I'm going to disappear, and let's read our book. Okay. So the links are in the chat, guys. So if you check that out, they should be in there. And I don't even know. Okay. And please don't click any scammer links. Okay, so let's read our book. Project Monster's Alphabet Adventure. So when I printed this book, I had a whole bunch of people that helped me out to actually get 1,000 copies of my book printed. So this is a special thank you to all of my friends that, I'm going to try and get in a little closer here. Let's get in closer to my book. Okay, there we go. So this is a shout out to all my friends that helped me get there, which I just have to say thanks again, friends. You totally rock my world. And let's get this started. So Project Monster was eager, energetic, and set to learn every letter in the whole alphabet. Oh, hello, Spirit Bear. What do you say? Let's take an adventure and learn the letters that way. What a wonderful plan, but first we should pack some important supplies like a camera and snacks. We can take a nice picture of each of our friends to remember them all from beginning to end. There are 26 letters to learn and to read. Let's find all our friends from A down to Z. First, Angus the Angler chased his light to the top. He can act as our A. Let's get a good shot. Look over there. See that, Spirit Bear? I'm excited, no doubt. Let's go check it out. Bunskis was bashful, blushing, and brave. She took a great picture and then bounced away. Krabby McCrabberson can represent C. As the camera snapped, Krabby said, cheese. He's Krabby. He's very Krabby. Dragon McFly was dancing as D, while Ellie the Elephant was everything E. Friendly and fast, they knew who was next. Froggy McFroggerson was a fantastic F. Then Spirit Bear heard a great giddy sound. It was Gary Giraffe. What's he giggling about? Hammy the Hamster had a hilarious joke. That's G and that's H. Project Monster was stoked. They all had a laugh because the joke was so funny. Then Spirit Bear said, I'm feeling so hungry. They walked up the hill to take a short break, saw Illy Iguana and Jam the Ram by the lake. Project Monster took pictures, for I and for J. Soon Kapow Kangaroo was keen to be K. Look, Lulu Llama, Spirit Bear could just tell. She was lingering lakeside and would love to be L. Mac Mongoose moved over near Nutty the Squirrel. Their magnificent tails were nestled and curled. While Owlie observed over top in the tree, Pigskis played by the pond. He was perfectly P. Project Monster snapped pictures of the whole Kung Fu crew. It was time to move on to the next letter, Q. Quickly they ran to the sound of the tunes. It was Quirky the Quail and Radio Raccoon. The quad rock and rolled with Q and with R, then we're off to find S, which couldn't be far. Swimming and splashing, trading tails in the sea, Squidskis played ball with his pal Turtley. Spirit Bear splashed with S and with T. A good pick was clicked. Then what did they see? They saw Uni the Unicorn up by the cave. She was uniquely you and happy that way. Vaughn the Swan was as vibrant as Willow the Whale. Snap went the camera, splash went their tails. Xavier Sea Otter put his paws up and flexed. Project Monster said, thanks, you're such a great X. Yada a bit, Project Monster looked back, and that's when he saw good old Yakety Yak, yapping over yonder, talking all about why. Yakety yacked for a while, and then waved him goodbye. Last but not least was the king of them all. It was Zion the Lion who stood proud and stood tall. Zion was zany, they made it to Z. Our adventure is over, let's go look and see. You've done a great job, Project Monster and friends. Now it's time to remember all the letters again. Yay! And all of the friends rejoice at the end of the story. Let's remember all the letters again. A is for Angus, B is for Bunskies, C is for Krabby, D is for Dragon, E is for Ellie, F is for Froggy, G is for Gary, H is for Hammy, I is for Illy, J is for Jam, K for Kapow, L for Lulu, M for Mac, and N for Nutty. They're a pair. They're like the Bert and Ernie of my book. O is for Owlie, P is for Pigskis, Q is for Corky, R is for Radio, S is for Squidskis, T for Turtley, U for Uni, V for Vaughn, W for Willow, X for Xavier, Y for Yakety, and Z for Zion the Lion. And that is my whole book, friends. It's so fun to read. I love reading this book. I hope you enjoyed reading this with me. Anywho, I know you guys, I saw in the chat that some of you didn't see the links, so I am going to, in this event page on Facebook, I will add the event link, and I will add the link into the event page, and then I will also add it onto my YouTube page as well, so you guys don't miss it, okay? I'm so glad you guys liked it. Now, this is Project Monster, and we're gonna draw him, and then we're gonna paint him. So, I'm just gonna lift my camera up here. Let's get this in order. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our pencil and actually draw Project Monster one step at a time. And then we can kind of go nutso. If you want, you can use colored pencils to color him in. And you can also use paints. I'm going to use paints today because I really like making fun, fantastic backgrounds like this. And that's it. So, you guys ready to get this party started or what? I guess it's already started. Again? All right. So I'm just going to put this down. And here's my fresh page. I have a whole bunch of tape around the edges here so that my paint stays on my page. I will leave this Project Monster picture here. Actually, this is the book. They're having a bonfire. Oh, so cute. And yeah, I'll just leave him here, even though we're going to draw him in the other direction. It's just a little reference to see what he looks like. Let me just come down a little bit further here. So, guys, you can draw Project Monster wherever you want on your page. It doesn't have to be over in the corner. He could be on the sides. He could be floating in the air. He could be right in the middle of your page. It does not matter. We're just going to have fun drawing him together. And I just need to make sure. Okay, so the bottom of my page is right here. So I have my pencil here, I have my eraser, and anytime I ever draw one of my characters, you can see they all have something in common, right? Can anybody see what they all have in common? That's right. One big eye and one tiny little minuscule eye. And that's generally how I draw my creatures. So that's how I'm going to draw this creature. Project Monster with one big eye, and that's exactly where I start. So let's draw a circle. And however big you draw your circle is however big, where am I going to start it? Right here. One big circle. So I start there, and then I go ahead and I make his nose. So his nose is a funny shape. It's kind of long and it's very square, but it's also rounded. So what I do is I take my pencil and right in the center of his eyeball here, right over on the right-hand side, I pull up and I give him a little nose at the top, just a little one. So I pull up and over. Give him a little dip in his face. And then right where his nose is, I give him a little curve and I pull down. And once I get just past his eye, I start to curve back over. So when I first wrote this book, I had obviously drawn Project Monster a bunch of times, but I started to get in the mode of signing my book with him in it. So I have this like really quick sketch of Project Monster that I draw in all the books that I sign. I obviously needed a way better pen for this book. But it's kind of funny. I like it. I practiced like thousands of times to get my signature Project Monster down. Okay, so bring it over. Now, for his mouth, I do it all in one fell swoop. I pull back with his mouth, and just where his eyes are, I pull up for his smile, and then back down, down and around, and then it goes flat underneath of his mouth. Heather, you don't need paint, so you're good. We can just draw him, and you can use crayons or colored pencils to draw or to color him in if you want to, or you can just leave him as a pencil drawing. It's all good. Okay, so what happens here is I pull up and over, down and around. I give him his nice big smile, and then this is actually the top of his belly. So when I get to the end of his mouth here, I start to curve out, and I give him a nice big round belly. And then I attach his belly from the other side. So up here in his eyeball, I go back down and I attach him from the other side. So Project Monster is a footless monster. He has no feet. And his belly is nice, and he has a nice big round belly here. And he's got two little eyes, or he's got his one big eye, but he's got one other little eye over here. So I just put it right on top of his head. And he's got a horn on each side. Actually, this horn's that's not the right size horn. Come on, Julie. Let's make it a little bigger. You'd think I'd have this down by now. Oh, where'd my eraser go? There you go. And just because he looks so weird right now, I'm going to color the inside of his eye. So his little pupil is like a half circle, and then I put a little squiggly in it, and I color that in. So that's his little glimmer in his eye. Over here, I color this in, but I do leave a little dot of white over here. And he's got a nice tail that pops out the back that's rounded. He's got one tiny little hand that pops out this way, and then an elbow, arm, and a tiny little hand that pops out here. So he's kind of like a bouncy T-Rex monster. He's got very small arms, and he doesn't have any feet. I don't know how he survives, but you know, he does. I guess because he has so many great friends. And then he's got some spots too. So I give him two spots here, and then usually I give him a little spot in his belly here. And there he is. Project Monster in action. All right. Now, when I start to draw Project Monster, I sometimes give him lots of teeth. Sometimes I only give him a couple teeth. So I actually just really like giving him like a couple teeth here and maybe even like a tooth here. I don't really give him all of his teeth anymore. I kind of change that up because I feel like it's nice that he has teeth, but I feel like he looks a little scarier than he needs to. Okay. And there he is. So I only use primary colors for Project Monster. So his whole body is red, his stomach is yellow, and all of his spots and horns are blue. And I like to use all of those colors in and around him, and I also like to color him in as well. So normally, I would color the whole canvas first and then go ahead and color him in. But what I'm actually going to do today is color him in first, and then I'm going to put some paint all around. So I have my paper plate here that I'm going to put my paints on. I have some brushes and my cup of water. We don't need a lot of paint, so I have red for the body. Very little bit of red. That looks kind of cool, eh? I like how that looks. It's like bleh. Okay, a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow. So I'm going to start with these three colors. And I am going to use my medium flat brush, this guy here, to color him in. So, you know, where's the focus? We just use what we can. And like I said, if you have colored pencils or crayons, feel free to color them in that way too. This is just for fun, guys. And since I'm a painter, you know, I just really like to paint. So I start with my brush in whatever kind of little corners. These brushes are really good for getting into corners because it already has a little bit of corner in the actual brush shape. So I often, and anytime I'm trying to color a space in, I start on the line and I pull away from it. And that helps me not go into or outside of the lines when I don't have to. And even as I cruise closer to the other side of my painting, whoop, 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 I will go up to the line and just cruise down. I try and stay steady, and so that I don't go outside the lines, I either pull alongside the line or I start on the line and pull away from it. And this is mostly for painting. So painting and colored pencils are pretty different. And tomorrow's class, we're going to draw Pikachu, and I'm going to show you some really kind of almost advanced colored pencil techniques to color in Pikachu. And I'm excited for that because I love using colored pencils too. Love it. So I just take my time, I go around all the edges, and you know, it's not the end of the world if you go outside the lines. I mean, come on, we're just chilling and having fun here. And guys, I just want you to remember, because I don't think I said this at the beginning of the party, but if you know that you've been painting with me, and how I roll is I don't have a lot of room or a lot of space for people who don't think their artwork looks good. It doesn't have anything to do with my artwork. It really is just about you enjoying the process. So there's no way that your painting is going to look exactly like my painting because we're totally different people. It's just impossible. So you got to let go of any kind of perfection that you're expecting and let loose and just feel good while you're putting pen to paper, pencil to paper, paint to paper, whatever you're using. It's just about feeling good. It's not about making perfect images, okay? You got to get rid of that notion. Oh, I colored in this dot. Oh, well. Oh, you guys want to draw Uni? I know, Uni is really cute, hey? You can absolutely go ahead and draw Uni. That might be for another day. I would actually love to do a series of classes just based on all the characters. It would be so fun to draw all the characters with you guys. Now, whenever I have little things, I can just take the corner of my brush and kind of scribble in there a little bit, or you might want to take a little bit of a smaller brush to color in his hands because they're pretty small. All right, I'm gonna rinse, rinse, rinse. You should definitely draw Uni in the background if you want to, though. And then next, I'm gonna grab my yellow and I'm gonna color in his belly. Now, whenever I'm painting, and you probably know this about me as well, if you've painted with me before, 98% of the time, I do all my coloring first and I wait for last to do my black outlines. And the reason I do that is because if I were to color him in or trace him all in black first, which would be fine, there's a really high chance that I'm gonna color over top of my black lines when I'm trying to color him in later. So really, I'm just saving myself a step by coloring in all of his big parts first and then going back and tracing it in black after, so that even if there's any spots that go outside the lines or kind of have mishaps, you just cover it up with black later. And you don't have to worry about doing it twice, because that's what ends up happening when you outline your creatures first. Now I'm just taking some blue and coloring in his spots. See, like all these spaces, all these places where I'm kind of going outside the lines and my blue's going into the red and the red's going into the yellow, those are things that can get fixed up with a black outline. So I just do this first, and then after everything's on there, I take my black and I trace all around the edges and hide all of the discrepancies that happened while you're painting, which happens all the time. All right. Here we go. And he also has blue horns. Project Monster has blue horns. And I love him so. He is my best friend, you know. Project Monster and Friends. What do you guys think? Is that a good theme song for like maybe a cartoon? What do you think? Project Monster and Friends. Ooh! Oh, good. I'm so glad you're loving painting. That's so great. Are you finding the zone? Are you getting in the zone? That's the best part, the zone. All right, so once I have all, and look at, like, I still have all of this leftover paint on my palette, which I guess is okay because I am going to use it in the background. But because I know there's going to be some people that are just doing coloring and maybe not the whole background, I'm just going to go ahead and outline him now. And I always like to use my liner brush, and whenever I use my liner brush, I always add a little bit of water into my black. So I dip my brush in my water, and I add just a couple little drops of water right next to my black paint. Now this helps my line work like so much. So I put a little water in there. It makes it a little bit more like ink as opposed to paint. And I get my brush nice and filled up, but I also give my brush a little bit of a squeegee. So I either pull it back and forth to get some of the extra water off, or I give it a little twist. Make sure I have a nice little point on the end of my brush so that I can outline properly, right? And you just start wherever you're the most comfortable. And I'm going to start right here. And get around his eye. And I even color in his little eyeball part here. Now he's pretty small on my paper, so I need to be a little bit more particular about my line work. Now if you made him super big, it might be a little easier to outline him. And guys, you know, if you feel uncomfortable outlining your Project Monster with black paint, you can always just let him dry and maybe grab like a Sharpie after too. Sharpies are a suitable outlining tool. Now, they're a little different than paint. They will have a different consistency than the paint that you have painted him with, but they do work. And if you feel uncomfortable, there's no sense in pushing yourself. Well, that's not true. I would prefer it if you push yourself out of your comfort zone and tried outlining him in paint, But I understand if that feels a little bit hard and you want to just use like a marker or something like that. You could probably use a colored pencil too, or a pencil crayon. I saw somebody say pencil crayon. I was like, oh yeah, that's another word for colored pencils. I think different parts of the world call them different things. Oh, Amy, she said that her friend is an imaginary friend named Baymax. Well, Baymax is so awesome. I love Baymax. He's so cute. From Big Hero 6. I love that movie. I've watched that movie a bunch of times. We are big superhero fans in our house, so we watch all the Marvel movies and all the cartoons. My daughter's favorite superhero is Gwen Stacy, Spider-Girl, or Ghost Spider, whatever. She's got a few different names, I think. Spider-Woman. I think there's a couple different Spider-Womans. And cruise around. Whenever I'm making my black outlines, I find my zone. I get lost in the process. And I go make sure I outline his arms and his tiny little hands. And around his spots. I almost called them lumps. Around his lumps. Little lumps. And up and over. Oh, right. Project Monster. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Toothless is awesome too. He's a great character. Okay, let's see here. Where am I? Oh, you drew Baby Groot in the background. You're still practicing Baby Groot. That's awesome. Full armor Baymax. That's sweet. Toothless is great. Imaginary friend named Wild. She's a wolf. Now that's what I'm talking about. I love wolf energy. That's awesome. They run in packs, and I love them. Okay, so guys, if you are painting, you might want to go crazy with me, and we're going to paint our background. Now, like I said, I usually paint the background first before I put Project Monster on, but I know everybody's on a different timeline, so I'm just going to take a few minutes, and I like to get really watercolory with my background. So what I do, I take my big old brush and I grab some water and I just add a bunch of drops of water onto my plate. I'm going to start with red, and you see how liquidy my red gets? Even though it's acrylic paint, it's water-based, right? So you can still make very watercolory tones in your background with acrylic paint. So add some water, and then I just start to pet on my watercolor strokes in different directions. I often like, the way I work, I always go up and down or side to side with my brush strokes. I rarely go in like a cross motion. I'm just gonna, there we go. See that a little bit better. And you can see that it really makes these nice light tones, and you can start to layer on top of them so that the colors do their little thing. And I always just kind of wipe my little watery spots all around and make kind of like grid-like patterns. So everybody's got their own style. This is just how I do it. You do not have to do it exactly like me. But then I start to like to mix some of the colors together. So, oh, what? You made your Project Monster teal, purple, and pink? Oh my goodness, Erica, you have to send that to me. I've got to see it. That could be like his sister or something. That could be like Projectress Monstress. I've never thought of what the female version would be. So I am just, what's so cool about adding the colors together, you can see sometimes they start to mix, right? And you can get, when you mix blue and purple, you can get some, or sorry, blue and red, you get some purple in there and can make some really cool designs by mixing some of your colors. So have fun with that. You can create some new colors. And I'm going to go and grab some yellow too and get some yellow in there. And obviously red and yellow make orange. So you can get little orange spots too. Now it definitely depends on the kinds of colors you're using. Sometimes red and yellow don't make the best orange. The ones that I have, they just make an okay. Looks kind of weird. And I'm just going to bring my paint down and around. I'm going to cruise by him. Just going to glide past his nose and horns here. And I'm going to work my way down to this bottom corner. Maybe try and get a little green. All right, cool. All right, friends, so lesson of the day. If you come up with an idea, just do it, right? And if you see a monster out of a box, make it. And who knows what's going to come of it. You know, when I made Project Monster out of my super cool Toblerone box, I had no idea that he was going to turn into a character, and I had no idea that he was going to turn into a book. And just because I had an inspired idea and I acted on it, I made a box, I made a character, I was inspired to make a book. And when I get inspiration, I follow my inspiration. I don't let any fears stop me. Even though they come up, I get scared sometimes. I don't know if things are going to work if I try them out. I didn't know if I was going to make enough money to print my books or anything like that. But when you get really excited about something, even though, you know, there's never a guarantee that it's going to work out, it's always so important to follow our heart and follow our dreams. So I hope, you know, if you have some inspired ideas, you take action on them. And don't let anybody tell you that it's a dumb idea or that you can't make it happen, because you can. If you want to make it happen and you work hard, you can totally make it happen if you want to. Okay? And like I said, guys, I am going to repost. Here, I'm going to pop back in here. I'm going to repost my book links in our actual Facebook party event page, and I will post them on the YouTube channel as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this process. I hope you enjoyed my book, and I hope you share it with all your friends. So if you share this video, I would be so grateful. And I'm super stoked to draw Pikachu with you guys tomorrow too. So get your color pencils out, and we're going to learn some really cool coloring techniques. And that's it. I hope you guys have a very wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay?